Now, hello. It's me, Dan.
Hi, I'm Felicia.
Felicia.
I don't know how to say my name anymore.
Hopefully, our sound level should be okay. Maybe this a bit loud. Maybe we're fine. We're probably fine. Let us know if we're not. We're probably fine.
I have to scoot
So we've got, obviously last week we finished the main story of Necrobarista. It was sad and tear jerking, but also happy and hopeful. But now we have a choice of two stories. We have here.
Them first.
The Devil's Den. Them first.
Yes.
Okay. Well, just real quick. Also, Maddie's no longer here behind the counter because we finished that story, so she's not there anymore.
What
So,
that said?
Devil's Den, and then up here we've got the two kids, whose names I've forgotten, walking to the sky. So we'll go do Devil's Den first because that's the one Felicia wants to do, and I have no objections to that. Hey Joe, I hear the both of you loud and clear. Great. Also, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Thanks for coming in on your birthday. All right. So how do I do this again? Inspect. Oh, wow, that's cool. So we've met her before. I've forgotten her name, but we've met her, and Maddie seemed to have a little crush on her. We don't know who this fella is, but he looks evil as hell.
He looks like the devil.
He looks like the devil. Yeah. Like he kind of looks like Dracula, like old school Dracula in Castlevania, a little bit like that as well.
But in a western.
In a western, yeah. Like Dracula came to the Wild. Oh, that's a good. Nobody steal that idea. I'm doing that idea. I'm writing that story. Dracula in the Wild West.
There's no shade.
There's no shade. Wait, it comes out at night, lah.
Right.
There's still nighttime.
right. Is there nighttime?
Yeah. But he can't have any like duels at high noon, because then he would die.
High midnight.
High midnight. I hate this job. Kiyoshi was angry. Samantha, that was her name. Samantha always found it difficult to see him like this. She felt his anger and his pain as if it were her own. They shared the hurt, a bond exclusive to them.
Ooh, like a psychic bond?
Mm-hmm. But anger was also a form of passion, and Samantha considered Kiyoshi's passion one of his most admirable qualities. You know I hate it here too, but I can't walk away from this job. Neither of us can. So this is a prequel, I guess, because by the time she reaches the terminal, she has in fact quit. You know, the stress is going to kill one of us. You know the stress is going to kill us one of these days. Stress won't be the thing that kills us. He even has stereotypical mustache, yeah? Don't say that. You're right, I'm sorry. I love you.
Oh.
I love you too. Stay safe. Ooh. Samantha sat alone, nursing a glass of gin. Oh, the terminal had a warm atmosphere, a far cry from the immaculate, glitzy pub holic where she'd spent just shy of 6 months as a cocktail waitress.
That was what she was talking about with Maggie.
I assume so.
Right?
Yeah. In fact, there was almost nothing in this cafe reminiscent of pub holic, which made it a perfect place to brood, with precious few reminders of her previous gig. There were, of course, the smells. She caught lingering scents as she leaned upon the spirit-stained bar, each one like a stain upon her own memory, a scar that would never heal. Not that she hadn't been left scarred by other jobs, but she resented the invisible stains left on her psyche by pubholic, the kind she couldn't hide with concealer and long sleeves. Still, there were a few pleasant memories buried beneath the pain, memories of him.
That was actually very dark.
The previous line, right?
One, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, oops.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Oh, because it's one image. That's why.
Oh. Yeah. Each like a stain on her memory, a scar that would never heal. Yeah. Like she
the
was
kind
abused.
she could hide with. Yeah, she couldn't hide with concealer and long sleeves. Yeah, that means that she's been physically abused, or at least it makes us think that. Yeah, it hints at that. Still, there are a few pleasant memories buried beneath the pain. Memories of him. You want me to just leave the bottle here? Hey, it's Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
No, I need to feel that tiny bit of shame when I ask for a refill. No shame in it. Well, there ought to be. Because without it, I'd hit the bottom of that bottle pretty fast. Want me to stop you? Otherwise, you'll lose that shame soon enough. I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Samantha liked Maddie. Part of it was a natural kinship she had come to feel for anyone whose profession involved pouring a drink.
Is
Yes.
it okay if I push the table away a bit because I have problems seeing
Probably.
the screen?
Not too far. That should be
Okay.
alright. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Chope.
Twist.
Involved pouring a drink. But Samantha also appreciated Maddie's extremely high level of disinterest in what was going on around her. She could tell from Maddie's eyes that she wasn't all there. Her attention was split between her patrons and some problems she was puzzling together in her head.
See, a description like this is really good because
Yeah.
you can visualize what the character looks like, right?
Yeah.
Without saying that, oh, their brows furrowed or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Ugh, damn it.
In Samantha's opinion, oh, so this isn't Damon anymore. Damon Reese, right? This is a different writer. From what I remember.
Yeah, but I think Damon Reese oversaw everything.
Maybe,
so
yeah. I'm honestly not sure,
Mm.
but you know. In Samantha's opinion, patrons always got more attention than they deserved, and it seemed that Maddie agreed. They were perfectly content in their own solitude. Samantha, is that you? Oh.
Is it Kiyoshi?
Is it that man that we saw?
Yeah.
In the... Samantha, I'd like to talk to you. Oh. Actually, this concerns the other girls too. Call them over, won't you? Where did you work? This is... Nakamoto made the suggestion as if it had just occurred to him, but it was clear he didn't intend this to be a private conversation. The other servers were within earshot, close enough to hear Nakamoto's request. But he clearly wanted Samantha to beckon them over. She indulged him with the ritual of clapping her hands and calling out. Clara, Iris, Michelle. Business time. As Samantha looked across the table at Nakamoto, she realized that she stood between Nakamoto and the other girls like a protector, a shield. I don't like where this is going. The role fitted her fine, and the other girls seemed grateful for it. But Samantha couldn't help but feel that this was exactly what Nakamoto wanted.
If you look at the shadowy figures, right, they look like robots.
Yeah, they almost look like androids, yeah. Though he was one man facing four women, it felt to Samantha that their numbers were evenly matched. The women standing behind Samantha were not participants, they were mere bystanders. He evidently derived a lot of satisfaction from the fact he never had to raise his voice. He had his subordinates do that for him. Exemplary work tonight. Mr. Canavan was very impressed. You girls did your job with precision and respect. I would expect nothing less. That deserves a bonus, don't you think? He reached into his breast pocket and pulled out 4 10,000 yen notes, fanning the bills out on an ashtray in front of him.
This is in Japan?
Like, must be, yeah.
Yeah.
She did say she came from somewhere else, because the terminal is in Australia, Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
So this must be Japan, yeah.
Okay.
Also, they keep saying 4, but there's Samantha plus 4 more, so I'm confused behind her, like the image, right? But the text keeps saying 4, that which includes Samantha.
Oh, does it?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay.
There was only one problem. At the end of the meal, Mr. Canavan suggested that Clara give him a kiss. He got the impression she didn't enjoy it much. Her reaction soured the mood. Perhaps it's not her fault, but we are in the service industry. What service? Our one job is to make clients happy.
Maybe we should have done the other story.
Maybe. Samantha locked eyes with Nakamoto, willing him to concentrate his wrath entirely on her and away from the younger, inexperienced girl behind her. Based on that, do you think she should receive this 10,000 yen bonus? Samantha's heart broke for Clara. That she would be complicit in Nakamoto's humiliation of her filled her with guilt, but she kept a steely expression. As much as it bothered her to capitulate, Samantha knew that fighting with Nakamoto would only humiliate Clara further. So she gave the answer he wanted. No, she shouldn't receive the bonus. She knew how Nakamoto's little rituals worked, and she wasn't going to rock the boat. That could only make it worse for all of them. Is that so? Well, Samantha, if that's what you believe. Samantha watches Nakamoto set the edge of one of the bills alight. Jesus Christ. The fire rapidly spread until all 4 bills were engulfed. Samantha watched Nakamoto's smiling face through the dancing flames. 10,000 yen that's $400 more. Fuck off, mate. This was a genuine smile. This was the part he enjoyed. My, what a terrible accident. You see, I only lit Clara's bill, but now everything has been reduced to ash. It's like service, you see. The rest of you provided perfect service for the entirety of the night. But it takes only one small mistake to ruin the entire experience for the client. What one of you does reflects on all of you, on this entire organization. This deserves punishment, don't you think? Then punish me. I was in charge of planning the event. Any shortcomings during the event are a reflection of my leadership. I take full responsibility. Jesus. Samantha steeled herself for the slap she knew was coming. She would not flinch. But the slap never came. Oh, this is really gross. It took all of Samantha's willpower to not shudder at his caress. The slap would have hurt less to endure. You're right. You should take responsibility.
Oh man, I don't like where this is going.
Punish her. Oh, fuck. Clara looked up at Samantha, eyes wet with unshed tears. Samantha's expression softened as she tried to convey all the sympathy and compassion she could as she mouthed the words. I'm sorry. It's okay. Oof. Mr. Nakamoto. I'm surprised to see you here. Maybe he's dead.
Ooh, I want Maddie to give him his comeuppance.
Shall I, what can I get for you? She knows what I drink. He'll have a Manhattan. Do you have Abbott's? Of course. This is kind of a long shot, but do you have Hibiki? These are all whiskeys, I assume?
I shall check.
I think Hibiki is. I'm not sure about Abbott's. I reckon so, yeah. Let me go check in the back.
Hibiki is a whiskey.
Yeah, Hibiki is whiskey. And no E, which makes it...
Australian.
No. I mean, yes.
Scottish.
Scottish, correct. No, it would be Japanese, not. And Abbott's was the other one. ABBOTT apostrophe S. Thanks, cutie. Charming girl.
It doesn't say here. Oh, Abbott's Choice?
Must be,
That's
yeah. So another Scotch whiskey. Okay. Nakamoto had a habit of describing people as he wanted them to be, rather than as they were. As if he thought calling the server charming were enough to make her want to live up to the description. Charming, but definitely not your type. How would you know? For one thing, she's not subservient enough for your tastes. Unlike you, Samantha.
Oh, punch him.
I'm surprised you
I
remember
wanna
my
punch
name.
him.
Yeah. This dude is horrible. You wound me. You know I always liked all of the girls at the bar. Yes, you liked us all so much you gave us the same pet name. I always figured honey was just a more affectionate way of saying hey you. Hi yo? Hey yo? Is that a thing?
Hey, oh.
No? As in, hey you over there. Hey you over there. Ah. Maybe you are right. But you were always my favorite, Samantha.
Ugh.
Well, one of my favorites. Fuck off. She wasn't sure if that was meant to be
Don't
a compliment.
touch her!
Given that Nakamoto seemed to prefer girls too inexperienced to avoid his advances, the implication she might be a favorite struck Samantha as insulting. You always did like the oblivious ones. Ah, Samantha, you know how the clan is. We wouldn't have hired you if I were a more sophisticated girl. No. Nakamoto seemed to think he was being subtle, but he was never very good at it. I presume the fact that none of the servers spoke Japanese wasn't an accident. What is the point in denying it now? Of course you understand now all that was going on. You only paid in cash. Half your men showed tattoos every time they rolled up their sleeves. Of course I knew what was going on. He's a Yakuza? But surely you didn't expect... I always knew it was a possibility. But nobody could have anticipated things happening like they did. It was never my intention... I tried to do the right thing. My intentions were good. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, laugh in his face. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Samantha glanced again at the white van parked across the road from the bar, then turned away to continue serving, barely noticing the man approaching the bar. So we're going back and forth in time. A moment later, she tensed up and did a double take. There was something about the way the man walked. Men coming to see Nakamoto were always trembling, afraid. He looked too confident for a man about to talk to an infamous crime boss.
So, I know like it could also be because they're saving on the design and art costs, right? But making them like mannequins and bright light in the shadows is very effective.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And you're right, Joe. He is very gross.
The grossest.
That and the white van. It had been sitting there for the past 2 hours, and yet she hadn't seen anyone come out of the van the whole time. She turned toward the door as the man came in and realized he was suddenly flanked by several men on either side. Yeah, you're right. They look like mannequins, like androids.
Now they look like mannequins.
Yeah. Their chests were too thick for their stature, the kind of bulk that came from Kevlar undersuit jackets. Uh-oh.
The description in the writing is really good.
Yeah. Nobody move! Samantha found herself looking at a badge, a handgun, and several men holding what looked like military-grade submachine guns. Taro Nakamoto, we have a warrant for your arrest. I am Taro Nakamoto. Please, no need for the big guns. You're frightening them.
Taro's sweet potato, I think.
Yes. He gestured to the cocktail waitresses huddled behind the bar. Nakamoto stepped forward. He intended to turn himself in. His men watched in disbelief, but one by one they dropped their guns and held their empty hands up. Except for one.
Oh.
There's no gun in his hand. He was standing near the door, his right hand hovering at his hip.
For a split second, I thought it was a grenade.
No. Gun! The young gangster who had drawn the gun crumpled as several gunshots rang out from the back of the room. Another one of Nakamoto's henchmen. Samantha hit the floor, crawling through the shattered fragments of the drinks she dropped moments ago. Yeesh. The roaring gunfire was so loud it physically hurt her ears. Within seconds, all she could hear was ringing. She kept crawling, trying to avoid the gunfire and stampeding crowd, when she found herself pressed against the side of the bar.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Samantha looked up and made eye contact with Nakamoto just seconds before the bullets began to tear him apart. He cratered her to the floor, and Samantha found herself face to face with a corpse. As her consciousness faded, 2 words escaped her lips.
Did she get shot?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Fucking Yakuza. Indeed. Of course you didn't mean for it to go down the way that it did. Nobody gets out of bed in the morning thinking, let's die today. I get up every morning prepared to die. But it is unfair of me to expect everyone around me to do the same. I'm sorry that you had to become involved. So he is 100% dead. I knew what I was getting into. You never coerced me. Well, I made the decision to be there. I made that decision every night I took those envelopes of money home with me. Don't be absurd. It was my fault entirely. There is no denying that.
Oh, I don't want this man to be redeemed.
You weren't the one who pulled the gun. Yes, but my man did, and his actions reflect on me. How can I claim to be the boss if I can't accept that? Regardless of who's to blame, we both ended up here. She did too. Yes, I suppose it is best to enjoy our time here while we still can.
Well, they always do the no don't
one
know.
yeah. Samantha thought to herself that if her goal was to best enjoy her remaining time here, the first thing to do would be to remove herself from Nakamoto's vicinity. Yeah. Her distaste for the man had far less to do with the day they were discussing than the months leading up to it. In fact, the way Nakamoto had handled the situation was one of the most decent things he'd ever done, insofar as a crime boss's behavior could be considered decent. Samantha had spent enough time pretending she didn't mind working under him in the past that navigating this conversation took little effort. Now, there was nothing that made her feel bound to keep talking to the man, no sense of obligation to keep up appearances. There's only one thing keeping her in that seat listening to Nakamoto. A need for answers. Maddie's back. Sorry, I didn't find any hibiki back there. Found some Shibui Maru, though, so that's what you're getting.
I will check again.
Yeah, I assume that's just another Scotch whiskey, another Japanese Scotch. What a treat. Thank you, miss.
Shibu?
Maddie.
Shibu? Ri?
Oh, sorry.
Maki?
It is Shibu Imaru.
Shibu
Imaru. Shibu There you go.
It's a person. But
Not that guy.
okay.
Thank you, Miss Maddie. I drink these slow, but I hope you'll have another ready by the time I finish this one.
He actually sent me to Hibiki. I guess it's a brand?
Maybe. Maybe it's a sub-brand or something?
Kind, yeah.
Well, no, this is just the... If you go down, because it's giving you a bunch of whiskeys there. So if you go down, those are all the ads.
Yeah, it says doesn't have...
Oh,
yeah.
weird. Don't know. You know, I forbade my man to drink our rival's whiskey. For me, to drink it myself would be hypocritical.
Well, I guess it was.
And yet, here you are. Nobody's watching you, so I don't think you have to worry about that now. Except for you. Well, I won't tell. And besides, you're the boss. In that case, perhaps there are pleasures which we are only allowed to enjoy in death. So he is dead. For sure. I don't know about her, though.
So what we are seeing now, right, is that bad people come here too.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what happens after this, right? This is simply a way station.
Yeah.
It may be my deceased condition that makes it so, but I would be a liar to claim this isn't the best drink I've ever had. Forbidden fruit is always the sweetest. Had I tasted this drink years ago, perhaps we could have ended our turf war on more amicable terms. I find it hard to resent men who make such fine whiskey. He started laughing, and Samantha joined him, more out of practiced reflex than shared mirth. Oof.
It's really good writing, though.
Oh god. Nakamoto placed his hand on her leg.
Please slap him, Maddie, or punch him.
She didn't flinch, but she looked at him with just the right amount of withering contempt to make him withdraw his hand. You're a very powerful woman. From the lips of the notorious Yakuza boss to the ears of the tittering cocktail waitress. You have an aura about you. Even when you served drinks, you had a dominant energy.
And you are a gross man.
Everyone in the room always respected you. I wanted to make you mine.
Now you've become even grosser.
So why didn't you? Because if I had taken you, I would have destroyed the very thing I admired about you. I wanted you to come to me willingly. And you thought I would? If I'm to be honest, yes, you seem like the type of woman who'd be drawn to men with power. I don't particularly find power that impressive when it's measured in number of dollars laundered. Power, not money. You do crave power. I could always see it in your eyes. And yet somehow I managed to resist your charms. Nakamoto smiled at Samantha, having completely missed the cutting sarcasm of her remark.
He has no self-awareness.
Nope. Besides, I didn't move to the city expecting to find love, especially not among the ranks of a crime syndicate. Nope, but you found it anyway. You're right. What was his name? You know his name. Yes, but I want to hear you say it. Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi, what's wrong, baby? Don't worry. Your heart is beating so fast, something's bothering you. You know how I am. My heart always starts racing whenever I'm in bed with a beautiful woman. Stop it, what's really happening? I shouldn't tell you. And we should be together right now, that hasn't stopped us.
Is this a henchman?
Yeah, probably. It's Nakamoto-san. He has eyes for you. You think I don't know that? Anyone can tell by looking at him. I'm worried that he will try to take you away from me. I won't let him. I can look out for myself. That is what bothers me. One day Nakamoto will try to take you, and you won't let him. Nakamoto does not take kindly to being snubbed. Let me deal with that. I hate that man. Shh, don't say that. Why shouldn't I say it? I hate him. Anyone could be listening. If the walls have ears, then let them hear. How can you stand it, serving him every day from under his oppressive thumb? I do it the same way you do. One day at a time. My father told me Nakamoto was a despicable man. I should have listened to him.
I thought he was gonna be Nakamoto-san.
No. I feel it deep in my soul, Samantha. If we stay here, bad things will start to happen. We're good at surviving bad things. Not like this. There are some things you can't survive. There are some things you need to run away from. know we can't do that. There may be a way. What are you saying? Samantha, before I tell you, I need to know. Will you come with me? What are you planning? Tell me first. If I do this, we can never come back to the city. Will you come with me? Will you leave them behind? Nakamoto's not the kind of man that you can simply walk away from. He will be when I am done. Samantha, tell me now. Will you come with me? This isn't fair, buddy. I can't. Of course you can. The question is, will you?
You are turning out not to be such a great guy either.
Well, he's probably also a gangster, so you know. Kiyoshi. His name was Kiyoshi.
Was Kiyoshi.
Yep.
Oh, hi Maddie's icon.
Sorry about that. That's right next to the microphone.
I'm gonna go for my first toilet break.
Okay. Hey, Eugene.
Hey, Eugene.
You're not like the others, but we'll wait. We'll wait for Felicia to quickly take her break. Oh my for the bedroom scene. Is that why? It's okay. Everybody was clothed, fully clothed. So how's everyone doing? Good morning. Yes. Good evening and good night. I've been playing Bugsnax, which is weird and hilarious and weird and moving and weird and mostly weird. But it's really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's basically like a catch-a-thon, right? It's like it's a Pokemon type thing. You gotta catch them all the different Bugsnax, and the Bugsnax are, like the name would suggest, a mix between bugs and food items. So like a Strawbee is like a little strawberry that has legs and walks around. And that's not as horrifying as it sounds, although it is a bit horrifying. Because when the various characters eat the Bugsnax, parts of their bodies turn into the Bugsnax, and it's weird. And I'm not finished yet. Maybe sometime this week I'll probably finish it and platinum it. It seems like a pretty easy game to platinum. But yeah, that's the other game I've been playing non-stop. You're not on camera? Oh yeah, you are. Okay, enough about Bugsnax. You're not like the others. I don't know who's saying this. Kiyoshi, maybe?
Kiyoshi.
Yeah. Samantha regarded the young cocksure man standing before her.
We're jumping back and forth in time.
Yeah. This is their first meeting, I assume. One of Nakamoto's men. She knew his name was Kiyoshi. Samantha, of course, had made a point of memorizing the names of all the men who worked under Nakamoto.
Rise of Kiyoshi!
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Okay, sorry.
Way close. Yeah, no, I was reading
Oh.
Eugene's comment. He's moving. He's still in the middle of his move from Philly to New York, back to New York. Upstate somewhere. I remember. So yeah.
Yay!
Good that you're almost done. But she was aware admitting she knew who he was would be taken as a sign of flattery, so she played dumb. I'm sorry, you're one of Nakamoto's men, right? Why'd you do that? Why do you do that? Do what? Play dumb. You know that I'm one of Nakamoto's men. You know my name. Not everyone knows your name. You're right. In fact, very few people do. I'm not as memorable as some of my peers. But you remember my name regardless. You know everyone else by name. There's not a chance that you don't know who I am. Nobody invited you to sit down. I'm forgetful. Funny, you always seem to remember people's names when it's important.
Take a hint, guy.
What are you saying? I'm saying that you seem to enjoy privately embarrassing Nakamoto's men while having the good sense to never publicly humiliate them. I'm not bothered by it, if that's what you're wondering. you're a lot more clever than you allow others to believe. That makes two of us. She was beginning to think that the soft-spoken Kiyoshi was a lot more attentive than any of Nakamoto's henchmen were, and that made her uneasy. But she knew that he had already gotten whatever he wanted from this conversation. We're not so different, you and I. Ooh. See you, Jujin?
Yeah, FCE. We love their books.
You love their books, too.
Yeah.
I disagree. She didn't see the need to list the various ways in which they differed in both station and demeanor. Perhaps you're right. You have the courage to show the men how little you care for them. I lack that courage. Oops, excuse me. But it's clear that you and I both feel the same way about them.
Let me know if you want me to read, okay?
Either way, you're not like the others. I was wondering if you'd ever notice. I always did like Kiyoshi. He always bowed when he needed to. He always said the right things.
Ugh.
But he showed contempt with every bow, every action. He had a way of insulting you even as he delivered a compliment. Very against what I usually look for in my men. But he had
Gumption.
courage, determination, moxie. I can see why a woman like you would be attracted to him. I always worried about him, but I knew that he was destined to do great things. Who knows, perhaps one day he could replace me. Who will replace you? Who can say? Many of my lieutenants were there that day, my right and left hands. In all the time she had known him, Nakamoto had never been a man to lean. He always stood stiff as a board, his spine so rigid that it seemed he was afraid that it would snap if he allowed it to bend even in the slightest. That rigid posture, along with his platform heels, allowed Nakamoto to pass for several inches taller than he really was.
Very good.
That's really good, yeah. Samantha had suspected it was his attempt to make himself seem more physically imposing. But to her it always had the opposite effect, making him appear comically uncomfortable in his own body. Yeah. And again, Nakamoto was never a man who had coveted luxury for himself, so perhaps his self-inflicted discomfort was in character. And that made his physical relaxation so unsettling. This was a side of Nakamoto she had never seen, but perhaps this side would be willing to talk. How many people do you suppose died in that pub? Perhaps a better question would be who managed to survive. Perhaps they are just like us, waiting to walk through that door. Oh, was she dead?
I feel like the twist would be she's alive, but maybe that's an expected twist and not a twist.
Maybe.
So the twist would be she's dead. I'm so clever.
But which is the real twist? Perhaps that would be a better fate for them. Any who survive will surely be arrested. After all, if I had been arrested, I would not be here enjoying this very fine whiskey. Maybe they escaped. I doubt that very much. Yakuza do many things. Running is not one of them. Bullshit, I've seen the movies. They run sometimes.
Sometimes the whole point of the movie is they run.
Yeah.
And then they come back for revenge.
Besides, have you seen Kojiri? That man is too fat to outrun anyone. That's pretty funny. Samantha, you don't have to keep pretending. I know that you don't like me. My man always told me that it was just your Western manner of flirting, that you were teasing, playing at being hard to get. But I know contempt when I see it. You think I hold you in contempt? No, I was speaking of the men who offered me false flattery. You don't like me.
I wonder why.
But who can blame you? It is the nature of hierarchy. Hatred for the organization is always directed upward. It is a healthy and natural thing, is it not?
No,
also,
she doesn't like
creep.
you. Yeah, she's like you because you're a creep.
You're a horrible creep.
Ugh.
Better to resent... I think he's gaslighting her, even in death. Better to resent the people above you than to resent the people working next to you. It is, in a way, a powerful tool for bonding.
Oh, I want to punch him.
It is something that you all went through together, and that made you closer, did it not?
Oh my god, now he's praising himself.
I never really became close friends with any of the other girls. No, I thought not. But I wasn't talking about them. You know who I'm talking about.
Is he taking credit for her relationship with Kiyoshi?
Possibly. Nakamoto is part of a dying generation.
I should have played the other games.
I'm pretty sure that's how all generations work. They have to die sometime. They make room for new generations. This generation of Yakuza will not die out. It will be chased out. It is a slow-moving organization. Everything about it from the inside out is based on an old way of doing things that is rapidly becoming not only outdated but painful to look at. The premise of a clan is founded on the expectation that all of its members will be members for life, bound to each other and the organization. Death is the only solution. Kiyoshi, you don't mean to. The whole organization needs to die, though it will take 10 years of my life along with it. It has given me something that I hate, and yet I can't bring myself to give it up.
So philosophical, this boy.
In a way, it has become a part of me. You are not your job. Nakamoto would disagree. So would my parents, including my uncle, who was a police. Who was a police? Okay. Things are different for you, but where I am from, this is true of any sort of institutional organization. The first 10 or 20 years that you spend in the organization are not truly spent doing anything of substance.
Okay. 10 or 20 years. Okay.
The purpose of your first decades is training you to be a member of the clan. Sounds like an extensive training program. I didn't realize that Yakuza value training and education so highly. It is not a training program as you might imagine it. Most of it is being subjected to artificial hardship to demonstrate that you are trustworthy and loyal to the clan. Hazing, basically. Many of these hardships are designed to be humiliating or otherwise damaging. This is not an overlooked flaw of the initiation process. It is intentionally that way by design, yeah. Hazing. Like hate. Well, thank you. Hey. Yes, Samantha. Like hazing. Hazing? It's a practice for initiating people into social groups. It's not just a Yakuza thing, I assure you. You do this in your home country? I was hazed several times in college. Sororities, other honor societies, that sort of thing. Ah. Organizations addicted to the old ways of doing things. Yes. I suppose so.
And we learn a little bit more about Samantha.
Yeah. Hazing is a torch passed on from one generation to the next. And I suppose the upside is that you get a bunch of loyal foot soldiers. No, the upside is that you get a large number of people who will only perpetuate the institution complete with all its flaws. Yeah. You need to find a way to clear the ranks, burn it all down to the ground, start from scratch. Better yet, burn it all to the ground and leave it smoldering. I wish I could. And yet there's something deep in me that would hate to see it so. I know how much you hate Nakamoto. But you see, I don't. Even if I want to hate him, I cannot. Didn't you just say you hated him? The kind of loyalty that is built up over many years, it does not go away simply because you wish it to.
So this could have been before they were in bed or after, I'm not quite sure.
Maybe.
Like this might have been the start of their relationship.
That is the insidious thing about this organization. It changes you even as you realize what it is doing to you, even as you hate it. For me to say that I hate Nakamoto would be the same as saying that I hate what I've become. And that is not something I say easily, even though it may be true. Oops. You are not like Nakamoto. I wish what you say was true.
It's like a Hong Kong drama.
You're right. Kiyoshi hated you. Did he tell you that? Samantha didn't bother to answer Nakamoto's question. She hated rhetorical questions with a passion. Several moments of silence later, she noticed Nakamoto fidgeting. Nakamoto was a man who carried himself with an undue amount of pomp, and it was not easy to make a man that straight-laced fidget. She took a certain amount of pleasure from his visible discomfort. The thought occurred to her that the way she tried to get a certain reaction from Nakamoto was not so different from his habit of dominating conversations. But she justified this to herself easily. The worst thing about Nakamoto was that he was a poor steward of power. That's the worst thing. He diminished the power of others because he enjoyed taking it for himself, and he correctly perceived it as being zero-sum. Samantha didn't crave power, but she very much enjoyed seeing Nakamoto being brought down a few notches, even if only for a moment. Of course he told you all the ways he despised me and my old ways. That is how every passionate relationship begins, is it not?
Ugh.
The strongest bonds are built not out of mutual respect, but out of a shared hatred for something or someone. Fuck off. So of course he would pick me as the object of ire to win you over. Kiyoshi was a very shrewd man. He always had a talent for getting exactly what he wanted.
What he's saying is that the guy manipulated her and not that he is a terrible person.
Yep. Yeah, he always had a talent for getting exactly what he wanted. I mean, that's You don't know the first thing about what kind of man Kiyoshi was. He's far more dangerous than he looks. Nope. What's television? I don't carry a gun. Too dangerous. Not when you know how to use one. I don't mean dangerous to safety, dangerous to get caught with. Guaranteed jail time on conviction, yeah? And yet somehow all your friends seem to deal with it. Colleagues, not friends. So how come they bear the risk of getting caught with a firearm and you don't? I need to stay clean. The clan has many properties in my name. If I were caught carrying a firearm, it would defeat the purpose. I didn't realize that you had an ownership stake in the clan. Technically I do, but do you think that I actually see any of the money that passes through my establishments? They use my name, but I have no power. And if you ever try to leave, yes, now you understand why things are so complicated. Even if I leave, I will still carry the taint of association. There's no avoiding it. Why you? Why not do it under someone else's name? I may have I may have lied to you. I think her hand is just on his shoulder, or like on his neck maybe. I may have lied to you before. Her hand's off. I told you I don't carry a gun because there are many properties under my name. They needed someone who looked squeaky clean. Squeaky clean? Someone with a spotless record, perfect, free of imperfections. That's me, Mr. Spotless. Though I don't think that anyone in the clan would describe me that way. I'm actually very far from perfect. I'm just the man that they needed. I'm just the man that they needed. I think you're what I need too. What does that mean? You may not be perfect, but you're what I'm looking for right now. You don't want to be tied up with me. I can't endure these circumstances. How could I expect you to do the same? You need to escape. It's too late for me, but not for you. It's not too late. I have nowhere to turn to. I've been thinking of going to the police. Kiyoshi looked at her with pained eyes, unable to say anything more. Finally, Samantha spoke up. Are you going to? No deal. They would not be able to make a deal without me agreeing to testify against him. And that is something I cannot do, not without fearing for my own life. No matter where Nakamoto is, he will find me. Even dead, his ghost would haunt me. My only option is to disappear. My own crimes are far too great to be forgiven, even if I do betray Nakamoto. And besides, I cannot trust the police. If there is even one corrupt officer who allows my name to escape. Nakamoto has one principle, and one principle alone. Dead men can't talk. There are always more options. You're right. I could inform the police anonymously. Send them to where they can confront one of Nakamoto's deals directly. I know when he's having one of his business meetings, but it won't be pretty. You're the only person I can tell this to. Because when the police finally catch up with him, people will die. And I don't want you anywhere near there when that happens. Can you promise me this?
So I'm presuming he's the henchman that fired at the police first?
Maybe. Kiyoshi, I need to tell you something.
Is she the police?
You can't go to the police. Tell me why I shouldn't. You'll ruin everything. This life is already ruined. The best I can hope for now is a chance at atonement. This may not make things better, but I cannot think of how they will become any worse with me continuing to serve under that. Please, Kiyoshi. I have a plan to subvert Nakamoto. All the more reason for me to go to the police. I can't allow you to be the one to run into harm's way.
She's the police.
You don't understand. This will work, is she?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You think you're the first one to think about taking Nakamoto down? People much stronger than you, people much more well connected than you have tried it before. How could you possibly succeed where they have failed? Okay. Here we go. Kyoshi, you were right. I am not like the others. Oh. There's something very different about me.
I'm a succubus.
Tell me. Well, if you believe that, you know Kyoshi better than I do. You're welcome to think it. Though
She's starting to glow.
Though I don't see how that could possibly be the case. I think he's talking about Kyoshi hating him again. I've spent more than a decade with the man. He was never just a servant to me. Not even close. The boss must hold the respect of his men. It is a powerful bond. Nakamoto sounded frustrated, but his voice grew increasingly soft. Do you believe that your months-long fling with him really meant more than that? Do you really have the ability to look into a man's eyes, to peer into his soul, and sense his true desires and motives? You are truly a fool if you believe this. Samantha found herself taken aback by Nakamoto's aggressive speech. For a moment, she thought that perhaps Nakamoto was right. She didn't have the soul read on him. Is that misspelled soul? I can't tell.
No, I think like she couldn't see like.
She didn't have the soul read. I don't know.
Soul read. I think.
Yeah. But as the moment passed, she came to an infuriating realization. Nakamoto pitied her. Do not underestimate me. As she felt the words leaving her lips, she found herself instantly regretting it. There was no faster way to lose respect than to demand it like a petulant child. She appeared weak and desperate, traits she saw mirrored in the man sitting across from her. Nakamoto wanted only to toy with her. She needed a punch to throw him off guard, something unexpected. She needed to tell the truth. I hate you. It does not surprise me to hear that you feel that way. It does, however, surprise me to hear you say it out loud. I don't think you understand the extent of it. I detest you, not for what you did to me, but for what you did to everyone who worked under me. If you hate me so much, why don't you just kill me? You are already dead. You never understood, but I did. Every single word you spoke in every single one of your business meetings. I wasn't the dumb little American girl you thought I was. Part of me always thought that a girl like you seemed too sophisticated to be a simple drink server. So who are you reporting to? Police? Give yourself more credit. I'm not just the cops. It's not just the cops who've got their eyes on you.
Is it the council?
And give me some more credit. I am no mere informant. So what are you? CIA.
Okay.
Part of a 2-year investigation. So you were out to get me from the start, were you? Are you happy that you finally brought me down? Happy that you put me in a body bag? It was a job. I did my duty. I'm sure that as a career criminal, you can relate.
So I was right.
You were, yeah. You don't always get to do the thing you want to do. Sometimes you do the thing that has to be done.
It's a bit anticlimactic. I wanted her to be like a vampire or something.
So everything went all according to your plan. Not all according to plan. The part where bullets started flying and I ended up here, that definitely wasn't part of the plan. I expected that you try to end things peacefully. Well, I guess things went wrong for both of us. And here we are, doomed to enjoy the same fate. Oh, I guess she is dead.
Or is she? Plot twist.
He's not happy. Inter-realm investigation.
That's a good laugh. I want to laugh like that. Especially during a Zoom.
Well, since you've been so generous in sharing your secret with me, I suppose I should respond in kind.
You know what he looks like?
Oh.
He looks like a younger, thinner Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because of the
little tie, yeah.
And the white hair.
That's very funny. Samantha, I'm not Nakamoto. Samantha sat stunned. She had on occasion considered the possibility that Nakamoto might merely be a figurehead.
Plot twist!
That he might just be a middle manager in a larger organization. But all of the important meetings had always taken place at Pubholic. She hadn't been party to every discussion or meeting, but she knew
Is Kiyoshi Nakamoto?
But she knew it was the place where decisions were made. If the man sitting in front of her wasn't the true boss, then it must have been someone else in that room. I'm his henchman. I exist solely for one purpose. For the day that someone tries to kill Nakamoto, or worse, they will get me instead. Oh, he was pretending.
Is it Ashley?
No, it's not Ashley. I assure you that the real boss is safe and sound by now. He's probably on a boot out of the country as we speak.
A boot?
Not a boot, sorry. A boat. I don't know, maybe he's on that, like, that Goomba boot from Super Mario Brothers 3. He's just hopping away.
It's like a Dr. Seuss boot.
A boat out of the country as we speak.
The Canadian one, right? Like, what is it, a boot?
She knew that the real ringleader must have been one of the men who sat in the meetings at Pubholic. Every face she had recognized had been there the day of the CIA crackdown.
It's Kiyoshi!
It had been scheduled during a meeting. Even if Nakamoto wasn't the true ringleader, the ringleader by now had been arrested, if not one of the men shot to death. All of your men were there when the police showed up. None could have escaped arrest, or worse. There was one who was absent.
Usually fictional bosses escape before the police arrived. It's true. If not, then you wouldn't be able to have your, like chase scene at the end.
There was one who was absent. Is it Kiyoshi?
It's Kiyoshi!
Nakamoto, sorry, I guess I shouldn't call you that. Do you have a real name? I suppose there's no harm in discussing it now. My name is Kiyoshi. Yes, I stepped into Nakamoto's shoes, and in turn, he stepped into mine. A simple switcheroo. How embarrassing for you.
Your mustache is embarrassing.
So that means the real Nakamoto. For me to say that I hate Nakamoto would be the same as saying that I hate what I've become. The real Nakamoto. Yes, your lover boy was really the big villain you hoped to take down. Samantha reeled. Physical fatigue, anxiety, panic. These were things she had learned to stave off long ago. Nakamoto wasn't sharp enough to realize just how rare it was for Samantha to find herself dizzied like this, but he did know that he had just gotten a reaction out of her. You know you're probably dead right now because of him. I bet that kid in the bar pulled the gun because the real Nakamoto told him to.
So maybe the plot twist is that she's not dead, and then now she's gonna go after Kiyoshi.
You may be right. Perhaps he left me to die. But then that is my job, as a decoy, to be ready to die when the boss requires it. In fact, he warned me it might be happening. I spoke with him before. He told me you gave him immunity, Mr. Big Bad, never to see trial. That's not how it works. He can still be charged. But who will charge him? Why would they charge a small fry like Kiyoshi? As far as everyone is concerned, the big bad boss is now dead. Most of the potential witnesses too, I imagine. One of Nakamoto's greatest strengths was his ability to project a veneer of stoicism. He was always the sort of man that expressed his power subtly, never flexing, always taking pride and never raising his voice. But in this moment, he was reveling. He had nothing to gain and nothing to hide, and he was clearly enjoying watching Samantha squirm. She saw no reason to continue obliging him. Samantha didn't bother to look behind her to see if he was following. He desperately wanted to continue enjoying his victory, and Samantha wasn't turning around to give it to him. Samantha. By calling out to her, it was practically an admission of defeat on his part. He needed her to see that he was victorious in order to enjoy the moment. A small petty man obsessed with status, so obsessed that in the pursuit of it, he had given up the only remaining standing he had left. And so Samantha couldn't resist succumbing to the same temptation. You have lost everything. The one you thought you could trust betrayed you, and no one will be around to avenge the betrayal. No one outside this place will ever know of it. I know of at least one person who will. Oh? Kiyoshi. Did I ever say I was dead? Oh, good call. Thanks for the tip about Nakamoto. I'm sure he'll never believe how I found out about his identity. What was it he said to me? The dead can't talk. Maybe he needs to rethink that. She started to turn around, but the one thing that stopped her was a look in his eye. The look of someone who was finally unhinged and realized that he truly had nothing left to lose, not even his own dignity. It was the look of a man who was ready to fight. Samantha had spent 6 months working under the man she knew as Nakamoto, observing him as he did business with myriad parties. Before, she thought she knew what it meant to see him angry in the moments when he flexed his power over his underlings. She thought that she knew what a wrathful Nakamoto looked like. She realized now that the anger she'd seen from him previously was simply cold, calculated malice. This was rage. He came at her with a flailing, amateurish punch. His arms were longer than hers, but she trained for this. I mean, for CIA, yeah, you could know how to fight. Ooh. Samantha drove her fist into his chest. That looked like it hurt. Against a being of flesh and blood, this would be an instant knockout. But Nakamoto didn't even register the hit.
Oh no. Is this the plot twist?
Can they kill?
Surely Maddie and Che would stop it.
Samantha watched as he lunged downward, her hands reaching toward her throat. His hands reaching toward her throat, excuse me. Waiting for the last possible moment to kick him away. Whoa, suddenly there's a lot of animation. Samantha heard an unpleasant crunch as his hand bore the weight of his fall. A crunch, but no howl of pain. He was already up, his hand quickly erasing any sign that it had sustained the fall.
Where's Ned?
You! It was only the inertia of her kick that had forced him back, and once he regained his footing, he came at her again.
Seriously, even an Ashling.
Samantha couldn't stop Nakamoto in hand-to-hand combat. The cafe's enchantments kept its customers' bodies intact as best as it could. But as with everything that stood in Samantha's way, she found a workaround. She drew her piece, a Pieta revolver with a wooden grip. Whoa. Her gun's brass construction recalled an era when steel was scarce and superstition and fear of ghosts was anything but. Oh, sorry. Her gun's brass construction recalled an era when steel was scarce and superstition and fear of ghosts was anything but. I'm always unsure of how to read an M-dash. It was no coincidence then that the black powder weaponry of the 19th century was perfectly built for causing real tangible harm to wayward spirits. Oh. She let out a yell and pushed the weapon into his chest, unloading the shot. By the time the 44 round passed through him, his body was already stitching itself back together.
Whoa, this is the most supernatural that we've seen in the whole thing.
But the black powder from the gun's discharge remained inside him. He howled in pain as his body tried to reconstitute itself around his fatal chest wound. His flesh was in a constant war of trying to warp itself to cover the hole and flinching away from the sulfur powder that was beginning to seep deeper and deeper into his body. That's cool.
Where is everybody inside?
Yeah, surely you've heard the shouts and screams and 2 gunshots by now. How?
Unleash an Ashling!
Nakamoto. No. Kiyoshi. Did you think we met here by accident? Did you think I hadn't come prepared? You got played, son! That's 3 shots now.
Seriously?
He tumbled to the ground and rolled over on his side, trying to get up on his one good leg. Oh, shot in the leg. Well done. You styled yourself a prince of thieves. He fell to the ground in a slump, raised his one good arm, and reached out to her like an animated corpse, trying to take the living with him.
Or animated, like moving as opposed to a cartoon.
That's supposed to be cartoon. But now you'll die like a dog. Goodbye, Kiyoshi.
Can you actually kill a dead person?
Presumably you can kill a spirit, yes.
Does it mean like it's disintegrated forever and he has no chance of
whatever goes comes after, right?
And this doesn't quite make sense, right? Because Maddie and Che pay so much attention to the hours that people have left, and then they are siphoning or keeping, so like them allowing this to happen is very weird.
Well, maybe they were like, Maybe we'll get some hours out of this. I don't know.
Or they're like, fight scene.
Go to hell.
You first.
I mean, that's an execution I've ever seen one.
Oh.
Yeah.
This game is not for children.
I'm done. You need any materials extracted? Just my 44. I'm taking commercial flight out. Why can't you just use standard equipment like the rest of us?
Because she's special.
Tell me which part of my job description includes the word standard. Abnormal jobs call for abnormal equipment. Life would be easier if you didn't have such specific taste in guns. Believe me, nothing about this is about my taste in guns. This thing is a brute of a weapon, poor construction, nearly impossible to grip, and a recoil shield that's not worth a damn. It's the only gun that makes you feel like your hands are somehow too big and too small at the same time. I like that. It bugs like a motherfucker. It's single action, so you have to flip the hammer with every shot. And it was on the wrong side of one of the bloodiest wars in world history.
So this feels like the writer found out all this information in the research and had to include
to put it in.
I did so much work.
I did
to
so much
find this
research.
out.
I hate this gun. So I use it. It carries the stink of slave owners and sulfur with it everywhere it goes. I hate it. Spirits hate it even more. Like oil and water? More like a fatal allergic reaction. If you ever need to bring a walker to its knees, bring a black powder revolver. I think I'll leave that to you.
So they're called walkers?
Spirit
The
walkers,
spirits.
I guess? I don't know. I assume it's not zombies.
This is a very different angle to this world.
Yeah. But I like it because it gives you a little bit more.
Yeah.
I have some important information about the informant. Kiyoshi? Yes, but that's not his real name. I would have figured. Do you know where he is? Did someone get to him? Oh. What? He somehow vanished off our radar this morning.
There's a crooked.
Yeah. I was worried someone had taken him out. He disappeared? Yes. Did Nakamoto tell you anything about that?
Oh.
Hello.
Is he there now?
No, everything went exactly as planned. Just needed to get rid of some dead wood. Dead wood. No, I'm working on something new. Rebuilding. Whoa. Well, that was a very different story.
Mm-hmm. In a very different world. I can see why it's a different writer already.
Yeah. Well, no, in point of fact, it was the same world.
Yeah, I know, but it seemed like a very different world. Suddenly with like sulfur bullets and
guns.
Like the other stories were so domestic.
Yeah, but it certainly fleshed out the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the end of the story.
Oh.
So I guess we can do both of them today. Here we go.
This one had better be happy. I'm going to take another break.
Another break. We'll just walk around a bit. I forgot their names.
You can start first. I'll be back in a bit.
It's okay.
You have to show off our Lego set.
Oh yeah. We built this the other day. This is technically Felicia's because I got it for her birthday. But it's also mine because everything that's hers is mine. And everything that's mine is hers. But yeah, it's the Everyone is Awesome set from Lego. And you know, it's the queer flag, and every, you know, there's a person, a minifigure in every color as well. And yeah, I really like it. It's really cool. It's a very, very simple build. But it was very satisfying because it was so simple. Next, we're building the typewriter, which I also got for Felicia for her birthday. It's a Lego that looks like a typewriter. We actually started it last night, but then we only did like the first part of it, and then we went to bed because it's going to be a longer one. We might finish it this weekend. By this weekend, I mean.
The typewriter.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. All right, Felicia's back. So,
hi.
Let's start. Yes, walking to the sky.
That was a good story.
It was a good story. I liked it.
It's very Hong Kong drama.
Very Hong Kong drama. I didn't tell you I was dead. Oh, motherfucker.
I feel I guessed it though, so I'm clever.
You're very clever. You guessed that she was a cop. You guessed that she wasn't dead. Where I just took everything at face value, like, oh, she must be dead.
Now you guys know who the brains behind our stories are. It's me. You just do the grammar.
I just do the grammar. That's all I do.
His name was something that I said that if it had been local, it would be a word. What was his name?
I don't remember. Hey, it's an Ashling.
Ashling!
Hey, little guy, want to play? Fetch.
Aw, so cute. I want an Ashling.
Maybe you'll have an easier time grabbing this. Is there a washer? Oh, bounced off his head. Bounced off their head. What else do we have here? He ran his hand along the shelf and found another object to throw, a flat, dull ring of metal. Catch! Hey, good job, buddy.
Aw!
Something about it. The bot took its prize and left.
What's her name? Stephanie?
I don't remember their names at all. Oh, hey. She quickly broke eye contact and her eyes started scanning the floor as if she was looking for something. Tuan. That's right. Tuan, not wanting to bother the girl, turned back to the shelf. Oh, is this her first meeting?
Oh.
She had clearly come upstairs looking for something and it wasn't in a conversation with him.
Good job not being a pest, Tuan.
Still, she seemed interesting and he kind of wanted to talk to her.
Don't be a pest, Tuan.
But again, she wasn't taking the initiative, so neither was he. Her attention was directed towards the floor, not him. So he was surprised to hear her voice again. Hey. Yeah? I was just wondering, did you happen to see a ring here?
Uh-oh.
A ring? Like a... Oh, like a ring. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took it off and left it here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Don't take your rings off when you're not at home. No, I don't think I remember seeing a ring that looked like that. She hadn't actually described the ring to him, he realized.
Oh.
Are you sure? It's just a simple metal band, no fancy etchings or anything. A metal band? Like metal band? Not like a metallic. Oh, hey! You made the same joke. I keep making these jokes before the. Not like a metallic kind of metal band. But, you know, like a piece of jewelry.
The one that he threw looked like a bolt.
Yeah. Tuan suppressed an urge to get into a actually argument about heavy rock versus metal and which side of the divide Metallica fell on.
Huh.
You mean just the metal ring? Yes, I'm looking for a metal ring that looks like a metal ring. Kind of like a washer, right? But smooth? I guess? Tuan's blood ran cold as he recalled the object. That's a good... Hold on. That is a very good face. Tuan's blood ran cold as he recalled the object he'd happily surrendered to the robot just minutes earlier. Yeah, I think I saw something like that. There was a little bot up here playing with some metal objects just before. One of them looked kind of like a ring.
The bot did it, not me.
Oh, great. Is it... Why is he on the floor something?
He's trying to look for it.
Oh, you don't need to... It's no problem.
He's pretending to look for it.
I could swear it was right around here. It wasn't. Sorry, I think it may have run off with it.
You liar, Tuan.
Oh, you don't need to apologize. I mean, it's not like it was your fault, right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, haha. He mentally cringed at the way he said haha instead of laughing like a normal person. It's much better.
I'm glad we did this.
Yeah. Well, thanks for checking. I'm going to see if I can find that bot. It's me. I'm sorry? I mean, it's me that's going to help you find that ring. Oh, that's really not necessary. Tuan couldn't tell whether she simply didn't want to impose or whether she really thought she didn't.
Is this their meet cute? Because it is
so.
quite cute.
Yeah. He decided to shoot his shot. He's gonna take his shot. He's not gonna waste his shot. What's the song? Not gonna waste my shot.
The Eminem one?
No, the Eminem one, the Hamilton one.
Oh, right.
He decided to shoot a shot. I've got nothing better to do. And I know this place pretty well. You're new here, right? Let me lend you my limited knowledge of how this cafe is laid out.
Cause the cafe is so big.
If it's not an imposition, it does have 2 floors. I'm happy to help. To be honest, she was imposing a little. Then again, the situation was mostly his fault. Well, cool, I appreciate it.
I like her hair.
It's good hair. Her name was Irish, wasn't it?
I thought it was Stephanie.
I don't think I got your name, by the way. I'm Tuan. I'm Hannah.
All
no,
right.
we were both wrong.
What kind of name is Tuan? I'm going to check.
I know it as a place name. Like it's a place where in China, maybe? Tuan?
Oh, it's Vietnamese.
Oh, it's Vietnamese.
It means chivalrous.
I don't... Chivalrous lord.
Chivalrous
Gentlemanly.
lord.
I don't think that... I mean, that may not be true.
Yeah. Well, it's Vietnamese.
Tuan. Okay.
It means man of obedience.
I don't know. I doubt it.
According to a user from Australia, the name Tuan is of Vietnamese origin and means good looking.
So does this ring of yours have any special significance? Wow. Suddenly, the top...
so big.
Yeah, it's very long, the top
Whoa.
floor.
Suddenly become like, and
Whoa,
it disappeared.
disappears.
No more.
Special gift, some kind of sentimental value?
Let's try and find out about a boyfriend.
You hoped it wasn't.
Cause ring.
It's kind of a reminder of who I used to be. Back when I was going through my whole goth phase. I used to wear 10 rings every day, if you can believe it. Now I just have one. Hang on, goth phase? Yeah, you know, goth rings. It didn't last long though. It turns out going full goth is super expensive. It's true. I guess I was drawn to the idea back when I had a brief obsession with death. I also wrote a lot of really bad poetry. As goths do. As goths do. As goths do. Pretty cringe, eh? It's not that cringe. Can't judge a person by their poetry. Well, there's some people by their poetry. And I was never a goth, but I've been to a few emo concerts in my time.
Me too. Me too.
Emo concerts aren't... Emo is not the same as goth. It's different. It's a different... They're related, sure, but they're different sub...
I think when you're a teenager, it's very linked.
Not subgenre. Sub what?
Typo.
No.
Category.
Subgroup? Subcategory?
Subset.
Subset? No, sub... Thing. It'll come to me. Sure, but you go to emo concerts, so I'm not sure you're a good judge of what's cringe or not. That's crazy. I mean, the lion's share of bad poetry is definitely written by teenagers. Speaking from experience, eh? You got any old Tumblr blogs I can look up? I bet you reblog I bet you reblog some real deep MCR gift sets.
What's MCR?
Fuck, I'm too old for this. What is an MCR gift set?
Let me check. I know what Tumblr is.
I know what Tumblr is. I don't know what the fucking MCR gift set is. Apparently Tumblr is dying now. That's the thing I read
they
somewhere.
stopped porn.
That's the thing I read somewhere.
It's a long time ago though.
Bless you.
My Chemical
My Chemical Romance. MCR.
I know My Chemical
I know My
Romance.
Chemical Romance. Black Parade.
We're not that old.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we have to give examples of what we know that makes us old. I know these things. I know what AFK means.
Away from TV. Yeah, I know what AFK means. Oh, thank you. Yes, Joe.
I'm giving you examples of all the cool things that I know that young people know.
Don't worry. I'm not actually going to try and find it. You've got plenty of chances to embarrass yourself in real life. IRL means in real life. Keep the shameful posting hidden if you must. I just don't think it's a bad thing to have written shitty poetry.
Sometimes it's fun being old.
The whole trying to find beauty in death thing feels pretty childish looking back. My emotions were turned up to 11 thanks to puberty. Yeah, puberty does that to you.
I wish I wasn't such a cliche as a teenager. But I am, because now they're writing about me.
But I think there's more to it than that. I remember how it felt becoming an adult but not being treated like one. Still stuck in the kid-friendly version of life. If you live out in the suburbs, everything is so sanitized. It feels fake.
I want to live in a kid-friendly version of life.
And teens run in the opposite direction of what's fake. Do they? Do they really? We embrace the darkest thing we can find, which tends to be death. I guess as teenagers, we don't usually have to confront death. Come on, keep his voice low, out of respect for the other patrons.
How big is this bookstore?
Right? They've been walking for fucking ages and this on the top floor. He knew enough about the cafe to understand that not everyone was here to have deep conversations about death. It took you guys like 5 hours to walk across. Maybe not most. I guess you could say I'm an exception. Want to ask a question, don't you? You're not sure if you're allowed? That's a big assumption. Am I wrong?
I like the music.
Yeah. I'll take that as a yes. And I'll take your continued silence as further confirmation. Okay, you're not wrong. I just don't want to make you uncomfortable. The feeling's mutual. You're not sure you're allowed to ask, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell. You're definitely allowed to tell. Sorry, I don't mean to sound pushy. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
I like Tuan.
You don't have to treat it like a question that needs answering.
He seems like a good boy.
Not a question, more an invitation. Right.
Second level is wide enough to walk in circles. It's true, but they seem to just be going straight though.
Yeah, they seem to be just
like
going
the
straight,
length of
just
the
across
books.
the...
Yeah.
My mom was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 13. My father typically vanished as soon as he found out. Oof. I spent the next year dealing with crippling abandonment issues, not to mention the constant dread. There was more to the story, Tuan could tell. But this was Hannah's story to share, if she wanted.
Okay, if you had to pick one person who is dead now, would you pick Tuan or Hannah?
Tuan.
What about you guys? Will you guys pick Tuan or Hannah? Oh, we don't have to wait.
Yeah, I wasn't. That's heavy. Thanks for trusting me with it. It was a dark time. But that stuff's all buried deep in the past now, never to be seen by anyone else ever again. Unless you count my old Tumblr, which I forgot the password to, so I guess that'll be out there forever, a monument to my shame. I think you can send a takedown request. The site has to honor it. They send a message to the blog, and if it doesn't respond, away it goes. I wasn't really looking for a solution to that problem. But your advice sounds pretty useful, actually. I might give it a shot. I think I have a Tumblr. I don't think I ever put anything on it, though.
I have a Tumblr. I used it just to follow, like, Clone Wars stuff.
You mean McGregor? You McGregor?
No, like Clone Wars.
Oh. But I mean, to follow Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenobi gifts. Because Kenobi is a bitch.
Yeah.
He is a complete and utter bitch, that entire series.
It's the best thing about the entire
it's
series.
really he's really good.
Other than Ahsoka, he was the best thing about the entire series.
Like, I don't mean
I want Ewan McGregor to be exactly like that in the new Obi-Wan series, the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
I want him to still be a bitch.
like I don't mean bitch in a derogatory way. I mean in a good way. Like, he was a bitch and it was amazing. He had the best eye rolls.
Yeah. And the best lines and the best snark.
Oh my god,
I
so
wanted
much
to be
snark.
him when I grew up.
I'm really good at offering unsolicited assistance.
I just want to say that if Kenobi hadn't been such a snarky person, I think Anakin would have turned to the dark side.
Probably true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kenobi being a snarky bitch is what turned Anakin to the dark side.
He was nice to everybody but Anakin.
I mean, it's not entirely true.
He was nicer to the clones.
Yeah, but he was snarky to them too.
That's true.
Yeah. For example, one time this girl came to me looking for a missing ring, and I told her I'd help her find it. Wow, cool. I hope the story ends with you actually helping her find it.
Oh, these kids are so cute.
What'd you come to another bookshelf for? I don't actually remember how the story ended. But I think the big plot twist happened when we decided to study the bookshelf.
The books are color coordinated.
Like the bookshelf we're standing in front of? There's checkers there. Just so.
The close-ups are funny.
Yeah, they're really funny. Wait. Why am I such a goofball? Can we stop now? I appreciate the commitment to the bit, but the ring's not here. The bookshelf had a few nooks and crannies that Bot could hide in, or hide a ring in.
The bot went downstairs.
Are you sure it's okay to move stuff around like that? It'll be fine as long as you don't sneeze. Is it really that fragile? Oh yes. The shoebox ROG is not a plane known for its sturdiness. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I caught that. What's this thing called? The shoebox ROG, short for Rise Off Ground. It's a classic, capable of self-sustained indoor flight for up to 40 seconds. Don't tell me you know every model in these shelves. Nope, just the balsa wood airplanes. When did you become such an expert? Summer camp. I guess preteen boys just find that kind of stuff fascinating. I sure did, and I'll carry that obsession to the grave. I didn't. What?
You carry that obsession to the grave.
Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you were saying like... And there I was, worried I'd miss out on something important by never going to summer camp. Actually, you kind of did. I'm sure that the physics of the rubber band powered airplane... No, I mean like the other stuff. Oh, he hit the wall. I'm not a big fan of archery or netball either. You really think people remember summer camp because they got to play with bows and arrows? I always figured learning how to fish or shoot an arrow was meant to be some kind of delightful experience. Sadly, it's something I never got to enjoy. The bows and arrows are probably the least interesting part of the archery station. The fun part is going to the archery station during your free time and running into a friend and saying, "Hey, I haven't seen you since breakfast." Breakfast is a really important part of the summer camp experience, huh? Well, yeah, it kind of is.
I miss hotel buffet breakfasts.
We're all sharing breakfast at the same time in the same hall. You get to see everyone. To think I could have been inviting my friends to breakfast this whole time.
That's a good face. I think tomorrow I want to have toast and jam and butter. Do we have jam and butter?
I don't know. We have to. Do we have toast? We do have toast. If only we'd arranged to meet at an archery station. The arranging is the part that misses the magic. It's, you know, serendipity. That's the good bit. Right, so you go to summer camp to have serendipitous encounters with your friends. No, I didn't know anyone at the first time I went. Then how did you serendipitously encounter all these friends? You can't just make friends while you're there. Sounds like hard work, starting from square one. Actually, it's not. Crammed all together at summer camp, you fall into friendships like it's natural. I never went to summer camp.
Really?
I couldn't afford it. You meet loads of other kids, spend every waking moment with them, and then never see them again.
We don't have summer camp.
You don't really have summer.
I mean, but we don't have like a long holiday.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Has the 3 months. Yeah.
And that's fun? Knowing that you'll lose these friends when you eventually leave?
It's like every movie, guys.
When you've only got a little time together, you really go all out making the most of that time. Yeah. That's true. Anyway, it doesn't look like the ring's here either.
Tuan's such a player.
Good news is there's still plenty more ground to cover.
No, there isn't.
That's good news.
There isn't a big space.
I prefer it if our search radius were a bit smaller. It'd be worse if we didn't have more places to look, right? If it's not here, no need to keep digging around. It's got good kicks, though. They both do. You're the first person I've met who seems to see good and inspiring relationships. I think part of me is afraid that all of mine are temporary. The opposite of that is much worse.
Is Tuan dead? I think Tuan might be dead.
Yeah, the opposite of that is much worse when the relationship lasts forever. For example, when someone new moves into your neighborhood, it's like, oh, we should have them over for dinner sometime. Sometime is meant to be next week, but then it turns to next month. And you keep putting it off until eventually you've spent years living next door to people you know nothing about. There wasn't a sense of urgency of the relationships that never evolved past how do you do's, you know? Like these people in your life who are always there. You take it for granted that they'll never leave and forget to enjoy the moments you have together. And then you wake up and they're gone.
No, why is there sadness?
It's a weird kind of sadness, though. It's
like a poignant.
It's a sadness for a relationship you never had. The best friendships I never had were the ones with a built-in. The best friendships I ever had were the ones with a built-in expiration date. You've thought about this a lot.
It's because he's dead.
Yeah, I guess I have. Is that why you enjoyed going to emo concerts? Sounds like a great opportunity to make your friends, spend a few hours with them, and then never see them again. And it was kind of a one-time thing, really. I usually listen to music when I'm on my own. I still have the Fall Out Boy album I'd listen to every night while I cried into my pillow. Year 8 sucked. Oh. The music was that bad, huh? Not the music, the jerk. The lyrics made me feel the pain and futility of my own existence. A lot of my
I feel so sick.
A lot of my early teenage years were filled with this sense that nothing meant anything. When I listened to that album, it felt like I was staring into the abyss. The music wasn't bad either. Oh, good. Because I've taken shots at Fall Out Boy as fighting words. I'm still wondering, like, if the album made you feel like shit, why do you keep coming back to it?
Because sad is good for intelligent people.
No, but sometimes you need to feel sad. You gotta get it out. It's not good to hold that in. I actually enjoy burying my face in my pillowcase and always sobbing as I'm overwhelmed by a creeping feeling of existential angst. I get that some people enjoy a good cry from time to time, but I think you might enjoy existential angst a little too much.
That's why I listen to Chinese love songs.
No, you misunderstand me. I said I enjoy burying my face in my pillowcase and loudly sobbing as I'm overwhelmed by a creeping feeling of existential angst. I like how everything is capitalized in that sentence.
It's because it's the name of a, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Did you get it when it was inverted commas?
I didn't. No, because the first time it wasn't, I don't think.
Yeah, the second time it was.
This one it was, yeah. And I just thought he was being cute. That's the name of the third track on the album. I generally can't tell if you're lying or not.
Oh, these two are like a YA novel.
Lying or simply bullshit? If I'm just trying to entertain, then I'm not really lying. Maybe parody or satire, or plain old storytelling.
Whoa.
Satire doesn't work if it's indistinguishable from the truth. That title isn't an obvious exaggeration. That title isn't an obvious exaggeration. Isn't it? I'd expect that from them. Wow, why are we dragging Fall Out Boy? Fall Out Boy was sitting over there minding its own business, and then suddenly it gets dragged.
The two of them are talking like smart, quirky kids from a John Green.
Yeah.
You know.
What if I told you my favorite song of theirs is actually I'm Like a Lawyer with the Way I'm Always Trying to Get You Off? I assume you were trying to flirt with me because there's no way that's a real song. And you assume it's a flirting attempt. Why? Well, it's suggestive. If I had to describe it in one word, I'd say it's lewd.
I don't know.
Oh, why can't you take a screenshot?
Why not? Is your thing full?
Maybe. Wait, hold on. Do I have to delete some stuff? Hold on. Everybody, we're pausing. Because I need to delete some things from this album, apparently.
Oh no.
I have 837.
Delete the Animal Crossing stuff.
I'm deleting these, because these I took accidentally.
Yeah, you can delete the Animal Crossing stuff too.
I have a lot of free space. What are you talking about?
Or maybe you're not allowed to take a word. A lewd? Lewd.
Why? You let me take my lewd. I'm deleting these 5 files. Maybe that'll help. Alright. Let's try this. Oops. It really won't let me. Wow.
Maybe you're not allowed to take a picture of the word lewd.
That's really weird.
Kinda?
And if I told you my favorite Fall Out Boy song was Bang the Doldrums? See, that one I can.
I think maybe you can't take a... Really?
Let's try this
That's
again.
very weird.
Okay, I got it that time. Alright. That would have been ridiculous.
It's just like a bug.
Yeah. I was going to yell at Nintendo. Like, what the fuck, Nintendo? And if I told you my favorite Fall Out Boy song was Bang the Doldrums. Rude. Wait, that one too. Come on! You absolute monsters. Why? Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there's just something.
It's like
going.
a bug.
Yeah, I gotta restart the switch. Maybe. I've got a dark alley and a bad idea that says you should shut your mouth. Rude. Okay, that one didn't make me do things. This ain't a scene. It's an arms race. Feud. These are all really good faces. For fuck's sake.
Is she just rhyming? I think she's just rhyming.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Our lawyers made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued. And she did the Phoenix right. She did the Phoenix right. I hate you.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. Alright.
I think we should delete some of bunch of photos from.
Sure, I mean, we have
the-
plenty of space. We have like 2.7 gigs. So I don't know what's the problem here.
Well, the Switch is a bit glitchy nowadays.
Yeah. Let me get a new one. Well, that's all there is to see of the mezzanine. Mezzanine?
Mezzanine.
Mezzanine. Not mezzanine. Mezzanine. I think, no joke, I think I've not even mispronouncing, just completely saying the wrong word
Mezzanine.
my entire fucking life. I have been saying mezzanine my entire life. Holy shit. Mezzanine. Fuck me. Literally my entire life I've been saying mezzanine. Oh, no one told me. This is all your fault. Everybody's fault except mine. Nobody ever told me. Wow. Well, that's all there is to see of the mezzanine. No ring, no bot, so I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. Don't be silly. You helped me check all the little nooks and crannies. And besides, you kept me company. Frustrated searching becomes a heck of a lot more enjoyable when you're hanging out with an alright guy.
He's an alright guy, Tuan is.
Huh. Nice. Could be, yeah. That's a solid theory. You gonna come with me, or are we done looking for now? What if we, and hear me out here, what if we did not do that and just looked up from up here instead? Wait. What if we did not do that and just looked from up here instead? That's correct. I've done enough walking for now.
Yeah, because the upstairs is
A million
weirdly
miles
big.
long. Yeah. You want to sit down? No, sitting's overrated.
It's
I'm
the
really-
new smoking.
I'm really into leaning against things. It's the new hip thing. These kids are too clever.
erudite.
Yeah, you're terrible. Yeah, this place is pretty cool. It's all right. Interesting crowd down there, all types. Which of course means we've got that one guy sporting the blazer hoodie combo. I hate those guys. Like, hey, look at me, I'm so cool, but also super chill. Wow, you're one of those guys, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just dunk on your fashion paramour? Nah, these kinds of guys those kinds of guys can be real douchebags. But what if he wasn't? He wouldn't be wearing a blazer hoodie combo? I kind of agree with Tuan here. Oh no, the blazer hoodie combo is something he has a deep sentimental attachment to. His father left when he was young, leaving him only his grandfather to look up to as a father figure. When his grandfather tragically passed, Blazer Hoodie's older brother took that place. He loved his older brother, who ran track and was the coolest jock in town. The blazer was all he had left of his grandfather, and the hoodie was his brother's last gift before heading interstate for uni. But his brother was killed in a sudden car compactor accident that winter, and he never came home from uni. So whenever our boy finds himself feeling lonely, he puts on his grandpa's blazer and his brother's hoodie, and he goes out to drink to their memory. Have you been waiting to use that this whole time? Nah, I just like to think about people's inner lives. That's what I do on the tram. When everyone else is buried in their phones, I'm people watching. Damn. The only way I can get myself out of the house is by telling myself nobody's watching, nobody cares, they're all in their own little worlds. And you have ruined my day, you brigand. I'll never walk free again. They don't see you. They see whatever they want to project onto you. That guy down there? Maybe he is just a douchebag. All we have are our theories. And those reveal more about us than anyone else, don't you think? I've never thought a day in my life, and I don't intend on starting now. Clearly. Look, it's easy to play on stereotypes, saying that guy dresses like a wanker. But where's the fun in that? I mean, people aren't always what they seem. But also, it's fun to make fun of people. It's fun to make fun of people's fashion. I like coming up with dark, macabre backstories, just the worst stuff. Darker than the one you just told? Yeah, but don't worry about it. Come on, you want it. No, I'm not going to. Sorry, it's one of my rules. Some people find healing in sharing dark thoughts. But I don't think I'm great at gauging what's good for me when sharing. I end up oversharing and then I spiral until I'm in a bad place. So, no stories for tonight. Are you wondering if you're allowed to tell? Because I think we're at the point where you shouldn't have to wait for me to ask. My rule isn't to protect the audience. It's to protect me. And buddy, we're still at the point where there are still questions I'm not going to answer.
That's a weird...
Oh, come on.
It was a weird slow-mo.
Yeah. Thank you. That doesn't mean I'm bothered by you asking. I mean, there are always going to be topics that aren't on the table.
This is a very weird interlude.
But you won't know until you ask. That's a good way to look at it. And here I was, worried I'd ruined the mood. I've never shied from a somber mood.
Shied? Is that how you spell shied?
Yeah.
Not why?
Why would it be a why? Shied. A mood getting dark and serious doesn't mean it's ruined. After all, some people like it dark. Yourself included? Hey, you can't have light without darkness, right? Sounds like a Fall Out Boy lyric to me. Good thinking, though. That's why I start every day with my hands in the toaster. The rest of the day feels amazing after that. I hope you're kidding. Whoa.
How come you guys are so far apart?
Yeah, suddenly there was a huge distance. I grew up north of Brisbane. Do you know what the weather's like there? Nope, but I do know that I like talking about the weather to get away from unpleasant topics. Why is every game in this place checkers? This is the worst gaming cafe ever. It's downright tropical. Not a bad day inside. Good weather all year round. Stormy days don't exist for the purposes of this conversation. But some days it'd be bloody gorgeous out, and I'd go for a walk and see nobody out. Just a total ghost town. Sounds like a lame place to live. Yeah, kinda. Thing is, without bad weather, there are no good days. Every day is the same. It's boring. But here in Melbourne, nobody squanders a good day. After winter, we're clawing at the walls for a hint of sunshine. And that's your case for dark and melancholy conversation. I mean, if everything's at a 10, it might as well be at a 1. There's no scale. I think I'd be perfectly fine if I only ever saw the happy parts. It's a contradiction, isn't it? The people most obsessed with finding happiness always seem to be the most unhappy. Well, duh. They're so obsessed with pursuing happiness because they themselves don't have it. The opposite of happy isn't sad. I think it's emptiness or general lack of feeling. You know, comfortably numb.
These kids are definitely a YA novel.
Yeah. Like, clinical depression isn't just about being miserable all the time. You're not in a constant state of sadness, more like a constant state of nothing.
Whoa, They're playing Weiqi.
No, they're playing checkers.
Checkers?
That's a checker setup.
Oh.
I mean, I know he's holding it like a Go piece, but it's checkers. Speaking from experience, that's a personal question, and I was hoping for a personal answer. You don't get to wax philosophical about your emotions and suddenly clam up when I'm the one asking you about them. The medical condition goes a little beyond the realm of talking about emotions. Let's just say that I'm no longer medicated for clinical depression. No longer as in you were at one point. Yes, that was my extremely subtle implication. Great. Let's dance around the subject. I love that. Why make it easy? Wait, what the fuck are you playing? That's That's not checkers already.
It's Weiqi. With 2 little pieces.
You really love talking, huh?
It looks like.
Is that a complaint? I mean, it was set up like a checkers board, like, but then they're not moving like checkers. Not at all. It's just you don't come across as quite so outgoing. And like they have a queen. Like, why does they have a queen already? It's really weird. I don't understand what's going on here. And I'm probably getting too bogged down about this game, but it's bugging me. I wasn't always. What you're seeing are the results of an extensive, self-inflicted deprogramming effort. Like, why are there black pieces on the white? That's funny. I guess I can kind of see it, but I didn't want to assume, given that you're... It's okay. You can say Asian. If you're trying to deduce my childhood based on stereotypes of second-generation Asian kids, you're not far off. Growing up in a household where being well-behaved was synonymous with being quiet and out of the way, you tend to end up pretty meek. Now they just left the board. This weird-ass game that no one knows what it is. Huh. When you talk about Asian parents, I was thinking more about, like, academic achievement. Oh, you're not there either. Like many immigrant parents, they want their son to be more successful than they are. Yes, true. My mother was an MD and my father was an OD, and I'm still not quite sure what's supposed to be another level above that.
PhD.
Is it? I don't think so.
Just saying.
Oof, sorry about your dad. No, a doctor of optometry. Oh, his overdose. Is it?
Yeah.
Doctor of optometry. I was a big disappointment to my mother's parents, who were hoping their daughter would go for an ophthalmologist instead. It was a big disappointment to my mother's parents, who were hoping their daughter would go for an ophthalmologist instead. Wow, that's embarrassing. I know it sounds like I'm joking. My family is the strictest of the strict. Like graduate second in your class, then have your mother tell you at graduation that you could have been first.
It's like the Sanchi rotten tomatoes thing. You got like 98% or something.
Yeah.
This is a fail.
This is way to get that Asian F. Yeah, way to get that Asian F. There was a really good. There was like, so the Iron Fist, the Iron Fist Netflix show was not very good, but the second season had Sacha Dhawan, who is supremely good looking, playing the Steel Serpent, and his character is also going for the Iron Fist. And he doesn't get it, right? He's second best. And his mother, remember the line was like, something like, I've given birth to a failure, second best. And I'm like, fucking hell! Priya, don't fuck around. I still remember her name. Like graduate second in your class, and have your mother tell you at graduation you could have been first if you hit the books a bit harder level string. That should have all been hyphenated. Dang, walking, talking stereotypes. How dare they? My mom never dropped that shit on me. On our drives to her chemotherapy. Oh! Fuck, what? I think that's also a metaphor, though.
I was getting a little bored, and now I'm not anymore.
Woof. I can't beat that.
I don't know. I find like it's a bit too clever, the dialogue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole game has been like that. Like Maddie was a clever.
No, but this goes on and on and on without like a plot. It's just the two of them having a conversation, so it's a bit less interesting than the than the gangster story we just.
What? You mean you don't want to spend the day dwelling on the worst moments of your life? Come on, dredging up childhood traumas is everyone's favorite hobby.
It's true.
Where's your sense of the macabre? Usually I have to pay to dredge up my childhood traumas with someone. Alright, I accept cash, card, and signed photos of Brendan Urie. I don't know who that is. Brendan, I may be mispronouncing the surname. Brendan Urie. And Brendan is spelled Brendan. Brendan.
It's an American singer.
American singer? Oh, Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco. That makes sense. No, I'm sorry. Panic at the Disco. That's the correct. Alternatively, we can just talk about happy things instead. How do you like cats? All cats are bastards. True story. Agreed. So much for happy thoughts. But they are happy thoughts. Cats may hate me, and I may hate them, but I like looking at them. That's probably my spiciest take. Don was enjoying the easy rapport he found with Hannah, something rare and precious. But with that thought came a sudden sense of panic at the idea of losing his feeling, of losing... Oh. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He kind of looks like he's from Naruto's village, like the way he dresses. Felt a bit uneasy on my feet there for a second.
I think he's dead.
This place, it kind of does a number on you.
Cause he's staying too long already.
Maybe. You can say that again.
And then suddenly we saw the
floaty bits, right?
floaty bits.
This place kind of does a number on you. It was a lie. The anxiety in his chest, clawing at his lungs, wasn't an affliction brought on by his presence in the cafe. His fear of loss made him just like the rest of the patrons.
Is he dead? I can't tell. I miss
Well,
Ashley.
I mean, this is clearly a prequel to when we see them in the main story. Because in the main story, they're already friends and talking about boosting the liquor.
I miss Ashley.
I'm sorry I wasted so much of your time. What? What? You don't have to apologize for that. If you're spending my time, then I guess I'm spending yours too. And for a moment, the two said nothing, simply enjoying each other's company. Hey, are you... Shh. Can you hear it? Hear it?
Ashley.
Hey! Did you bring...
Hey!
Is this your ring? That's the one. That's not what he threw.
Yeah, he threw
an actual washer, yeah. Great. Guess we're done here then. Yeah, great.
Or she like Tuan.
I'll see you around? Sure, see you around. Tuan watched her go, regretting how quickly he'd dismissed her. His mind raced, searching for an excuse to call her back and continue their conversation. Was he meant to yell something like, "Hey, you've got spaghetti on your sweater"? With every step she took, the warmth in him faded until she was gone and he was left empty and cold. Damn it.
Oh, Tuan.
So the trick to that is to just talk, is what I've learned. If you want to talk to someone walking away, just say, "Hey, do you want to keep talking?"
You're in a coffee shop. Do you want to get another cup of coffee?
You want a drink? You want to get a drink? Since we're both here? What are you drinking?
Is that it?
Don't know. It's taking... No.
Is this longer than the previous one?
The first one was about an hour, so we're coming up on the hour as well. Tuan loved darts. People were hard to understand, but a dartboard was simple. Circles and squares, and a sharp little missile thrown barehanded by him, a self-proclaimed dartist. He'd honed his skills on school nights while his parents were too engrossed in their work to pay attention to him. It was a relatively quiet game when played skillfully, so it never made enough sound to draw their ire. But it started as a distraction was now a secret love. Secret because what self-respecting teenager played darts?
Why? Is that an old person thing?
Yeah. But he was not a self-respecting teenager. Not in the slightest. Yo! Hey, I haven't seen you since breakfast. Aw. Nice. Oh, hey. You know that would only make sense if we'd actually had breakfast together, right? Shut up. You some kind of chain-smoking darts hustler? I wish. So you're not going to teach me how to play? Ah. Nah, I'm really not any good. Dude, you just hit 2 bullseyes in a row. Yeah, that's the problem. Each segment of the board is worth a different number of points. You start with a fixed number of points, usually 501 or 301, and then you throw darts in to deduct the amounts from your number. I only recently learned this because darts suddenly became a game that was in every video game. So I played it in Final Fantasy Remake, I played it in Watch Dogs Legion, I played it in something else. But yeah, before that I didn't know how darts was played. I thought you just had to hit the bullseye as many times as possible to get the points as high as possible. No, they're correct here. The trick is, wow, all my interest is gone instantly.
That was me nodding at you just now too.
How'd you get so good at that? Practice. That's the full extent of my darts knowledge, anyway. So you're not missing out on anything. And besides, there are far more interesting things around here than this dartboard. More interesting than a dartboard? This stage just gets better and better. Then follow me. Where are we off to? What is it they say? Show, don't tell? Is that the end? No. Where are you off to? This isn't our final destination. I have something cooler to show you. You were talking about what's at the end of that catwalk. I've been there before. I came in that way, actually. The catwalk's not interesting. And where are you going? Going down. Ooh. You think you're funny? Often. But you know when you just want to eject yourself from a conversation? When you find yourself in a social situation that you can't wait to get out of? Wow, rude. No, I never get the chance to make those big grand exits that I'm always dreaming about. Sometimes you gotta just seize the moment, or whatever. You'd rather make a dramatic exit than keep talking? I allow myself to do it sometimes as a treat.
I often want to make a dramatic exit instead of talking.
Yeah. So now what? Making a grand exit wasn't the only reason I jumped down here. Oh, so that stunt wasn't the main attraction?
Maybe I should wear a cape all the time. Yeah, I'll just like... someone will be talking to me like, okay, bye.
That'd be really good.
Then I wouldn't be rude, right? I would just be poking.
You would just be I think, yeah. You wanted something interesting? I'm just trying to deliver.
Yeah, I think I'll wear a cape from now on.
That's a good face. You can jump down. I don't have the feet of an athlete.
That too will be me.
Bend your knees when you land, it'll soften the landing. The impact force will travel from your feet through to your hip bone. You're real eloquent when you've got a captive audience, aren't you? Yes, young cricket, don't lock your knees. The more you say, the less inclination I have to listen. You talk in paragraphs, my dude. Whatever. Oh, my method works.
Oh, hi Ashley.
Oh, what's this little guy doing here?
Where's Ashley?
These are the little weight bots that make up for the lack of employees in the cafe. They're all different. I love it. Do you think it climbed down here on its own? It's not outside their own possibility. I wouldn't bother it. Try and stop me. Poke. We probably shouldn't mess with it. You sure? You're sure? Someone probably left it here for good reason, and now they're going to come looking for it and find out that someone booped it.
You know what the ashling is? Ashlings are? They're murder bots.
How would you feel if you were booped by a giant fleshy creature? What? I'm just saying, this is a weird spot to find a robot. It might have been put here to do a specific job. I think it's bored. Can we take it with us? I really, really, really think we shouldn't. Fine. Is this what you wanted to show me? Nah, this is still the journey. Oh, cool. Well, we'll get there soon enough. Is it safe for us to be down here? Does it matter? We're young, indestructible. What? Because we're young, we have to take risks?
So I think fictional teenagers are too self-aware.
Yeah. Well, in certain ways. If the danger exists, I simply close my eyes and pretend not to see it. But for real though, I don't think there's anything down here that hasn't already been stripped for parts. So we probably won't trip into a giant shredder or anything. Or be crushed by giant bouncing logs. If I see one coming, I'll pretend that I don't so you can enjoy the surprise. You're so thoughtful. Come on. Last one there is a rotten egg. You don't even know where we're going. Watch your step, you don't want to trip. Didn't you just say something about ignoring danger?
That's a way of walking.
I mean, I'm not an idiot. That is a way of walking.
I want to walk like that with a cape.
That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not an idiot as you walk like this. Could have fooled me!
And then I would like whoosh and walk out of the room like that.
Rude. Actually, given the amount of jagged, rusty metal I'm seeing around here, we should probably be at least a little careful. Hannah? Oh, jeez. What are you doing up there? Be careful. Looks safe to me. You never know what could be unstable or ready to collapse. Ha! I just look in the mirror for that. Ooh, Christ. Okay, but for real. Why'd you bring me here if you were just going to chaperone me to death? Chaperone me?
Yeah, chaperone.
Chaperone?
Would you like some chaperone?
We're not at our final destination yet. Oh, then what are we hanging around here for?
Lame.
Jesus. So what's dangerous around here? Jagged rusty metal, tetanus probably. I'm not gonna poke. It's not gonna poke through your shoes, hopefully, but try not to land on it with your face. Noted. Am I being too much? I should note at this point that I'm very bad at evaluating risk. Wow, really? I shouldn't have followed you down here. I'm gonna have double tetanus by the time we leave. Not aiming for triple tetanus? I try to keep my expectations modest. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Is it a hole in the wall? Is it a literal hole in the wall?
I think this story might have dragged on a bit too long.
Probably, yeah. Well, we're gonna finish it tonight because I think there's a lot left.
Because there's no real plot to it. It's just like them meandering.
Yeah. What was this called again? The Way of the Sky?
Don't know.
Shoot. Hold on. I want to check how long it is. Here, you can. So I look for this thing.
If this is meant to be more interesting, I have bad news for you. This hallway tells its own story. Well, it's too dark to read. There's just nothing happening here. Why hasn't anyone taken the time to make this place nicer? Maybe the interior designer was into rustic industrial. There's no accounting for taste. What a cop-out. There's no accounting for taste? Hey, the human mind is complex. How am I supposed to know? The human mind is complex. Okay, Einstein. Well, actually, Einstein was primarily a physicist, not a neuroscientist. Wow, you must kill at parties.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, chick stick me. I guess I can see it. Ooh. Ooh. Such aunties. Ooh, hold hands. Careful, don't hurt yourself. Do I look like someone who's worried about hurting himself? You look like one of those tour guides who has to walk backwards everywhere. They're not known for being prone to accidents, are they? Hey, you never know. I had this friend who was touring uni campuses. This guy was so distracted by walking and talking that he toppled right into a fountain. And what's more... Oh! Oh no! Don't say you told me so. I shouldn't laugh, but well, here I am. Laughing. At you. Great job, little buddy. Can I pet this one? Yeah, I guess. Oh! It's gonna take a finger off. Arg!
Oh,
It bit her!
hilarious. And then it took off. Why did you
Why
do
did
that?
What did I do? Why did I do what? Tell me it was okay to pet him. I thought you wanted to pet him. Yeah, I wanted to, but I wasn't asking for your permission. Oh,
What? What the
The
fuck just
hell?
happened?
you seem really bothered when I said not to touch them. The other times, I mean. I didn't need your permission. I was just asking your opinion, you know, since you seem to be such an expert on this place. Like, hey, any risks associated with what I'm about to do? Help me make an informed decision? So imagine my utter shock when I actually listen to you for once and literally get bitten for my troubles. What? Stop blaming him! I'm sorry, are you okay? I'm fine. You're kind of being a brat, Hannah. I'm fine. Tick, tick, tick. I didn't want to disappoint you by saying it would be a bad idea. Stop being a coward. Tell me what you think, not what you think I want to hear. Well, it's kind of an extreme reaction, do you think?
It was a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're forgiven. But that little milk bottle shit isn't pinching bastard. Hey, that little milk bottle shit tripped me first. Yeah, and it was hilarious. But I hope you've at least learned the dangers of walking backwards. Backwards walking and talking. I have, but how about you? Definitely not. Ladies and Hannah, we've reached the final stop of this nondescript hallway. You're really gonna keep saying nondescript, Mr. Doesn't own a thesaurus? Dull, sterile, boring, boom. There's no better adjective in my nondescript opinion. Ever read any Lovecraft? Half of his monsters are so scary, his narrators couldn't describe them. He actually took the easy route on that one. Who did? Lovecraft. Wait, that was his real name? Yeah. No wonder he was like that. What else would a guy with that name be known for?
Being a raging...
Crafting love.
actually being a raging racist.
You got me. They emerged into a storeroom shelf stacked with dusty jars full of mysterious growing liquid. Hannah wondered briefly if any of the contents was edible.
That is a thing only teenagers think about.
Huh.
Actually, that's not true.
Why are these all the way out here? Try reading the labels. I can't read whatever language there is. It's Latin. Casual flex there, smarty pants. I have an ad hoc understanding of Latin words, phrases, etc.
Bitch.
I'm gonna kick your
Yeah,
ass.
I'll kick your ass too.
And you would be well justified in doing so. How long have you been? How long were you holding on to that hilarious Latin joke for? Since I read it on the internet. I wanted to understand the lyrics of One Winged Angel, so I was doing a bit of research. Latin nerds love their wordplay.
One Winged Angel is Sephiroth's theme song in Final Fantasy VII.
Can you actually read any of these labels? None of them say
Yeah.
Sephiroth, so no. All I can tell you is that if you see Memento Mori, you probably shouldn't drink it. Is that the Latin word for poison? Remember your mortality.
Yep.
I am very aware of my mortality, thanks. So why the obsession with this particular song? It's from a video game. When you played with your friends? Nope, single player. I'm not very good at connecting with my peers. And I thought we were connecting pretty well. You think we're peers? Because it appears you're out of my league.
Oh, dude.
Oh, shucks. It's true. 3 cheers for those standards. Hannah's eyes sparkled when she laughed, and for once, Tuan struggled to feel anything but warm. Yo, check out that one. I told you already, I can't read it. Yeah, but look at it. Looks like there's something trapped inside.
Oh.
Creepy. Should we do something about it? Why are you asking me? Oh. This could be a bot.
Oh, shit. Catch it.
Whatever's in it wants to get out. I'm not sure it's a good idea to mess with this stuff. Is it the souls that the Ashley?
Some of them were glowing. So I think it was like the soul stuff.
Yeah, like Ashley makes into her little Ashlings, right? What if it's a genie or something? Oh no, is that the sound of impending litigation? I guess I can stop you either way. Oh? Thank you. Oh? A warm glow suffused them both, then in a heartbeat was gone. Did you hear that? I think so. Do you think we did something we shouldn't have? We? 2 hands touched the jar and both were yours. And they were both yours. You were at least an accomplice. I get the feeling we unleashed something. I get the impression as well. Was it a mistake? It was gonna shatter on the ground anyway. I don't really think we changed the outcome of the situation.
That's true.
Well, even if we did set an evil spirit free, I'm glad we came here. I'm glad we came here too. You ever get the feeling like you've already committed to a decision, but you're not sure if it will lead to something great or something painful? Are we still talking about the jar? Yes, definitely. Let's get a move on.
So we are officially in overtime, but this should be over soon.
Sure, our final destination's right through here. Oh. Tuan's heartbeat thundered in his ears. Afraid of heights? I think it's perfectly natural to be a bit spooked when confronted with something that could be lethal. Lethal?
Jesus, dude.
Nothing to be afraid of. Scared me there for a sec, Hotshot. Oh yeah? He felt an absence when she withdrew her hand. When I thought to myself, I hope he's falling for me. This isn't exactly what I had in mind. But like, that doesn't seem pleasant. The fall. I mean, why jump if you don't have to? The gut-wrenching fear only lasts a few seconds. You get used to it. I can only imagine. What I want to know is why you felt compelled to do it in the first place. I just wanted to feel something. Oh man. Sometimes horror movies just aren't enough. I get it. Yeah, it's just, like I said earlier, better to feel something than nothing sometimes. Is that downtown? I think so. But I don't really catch the train into town that often. Oh? I don't recognize anything specific but the Yara's there, so the rest of the city must be too.
It's
I guess
Melbourne, yeah.
I guess the terminal is located
above.
In a weird
It's some.
Reckon anyone can see us from down there? Don't know. The city looks so different from up here. Yeah. It feels lived in. Most cities do. That's why they're cities. People live there. But some cities just seem sterile, Housing estates and golf courses and toll roads on a grid, everyone commuting to their office job in a skyscraper that's the same as all the other ones. This one's pretty to look at. Is it safe to sit there? Look, if I can step off this platform, it would be crazy for me to be shy about letting my legs dangle over the edge. Sitting here like this reminded Tuan of being 7 and swinging his legs daringly over a balcony edge with his friends. They got yelled at for it because it was dangerous, but the association stuck. It has been a long time since he felt so carefree. At a glance, Melbourne's sprawl seemed vivid and meticulously detailed, but the more he tried to pick out individual features, the more his vision blurred. From up here, everything ran together like unmixed paint. Everything was just an indistinct part of a larger whole. I thought I'd be able to see my house from here, but I can't. Actually, I can't recognize anything. I know it's Melbourne, but it feels like a dream. Do you think we're dreaming?
Oh.
I think it might be. It could be a figment of my imagination. Ah. I think I was thinking it was the other way around. I suppose it's all about perspective. Considering how many dreams end with the sensation of falling, this is certainly an appropriate place for it to end. I don't really want it to. Me neither. If you just brought me here for us to stare longingly into each other's eyes, we could have just stayed down in the cafe. I'm just enjoying the view.
Oh, smooth.
Very funny. So when are you going to hurry up and make a move?
Aww.
Or what took you so long? Far easier to say something clever than to say something sincere.
Also, people are scared, you know.
Oh, has this been like a day, an hour?
It's dream time. Oh.
Oh,
Oh, there's a distance again.
I lied to you earlier. About what? Remember when I told you about my mom's leukemia diagnosis? How I was 13 years old and my dad left us because of it? Yeah, I remember. It wasn't the whole truth. She wasn't the one who got the diagnosis. This hair isn't mine. 6 months of chemo wasn't kind to me. I felt like a fraud every time I wore someone else's hair, so I bought this from a costume shop. If I was gonna lie to the world about having hair, it might as well be something dazzling. Can you say something? Please? I guess it's not a surprise. You only make fun of people when it's trivial stuff. When you started cracking wise about cancer, I started getting the inkling that it wasn't about someone else. That obvious, huh? Not at first. But I feel like I've gotten to know you well enough by now. You interrupted something. Yeah. I was going to. I know. If you still want to, Sorry, mood's dead. My fault. Need to reset the scene. How about we go for a walk? I think that'll help. As the last vestiges of the terminal faded into the distance, Tuan realized they were entering a world of their own construction. There were no rules here. They were well and truly free from everything else. He didn't know what they were walking towards, but in the end, did it really even matter? For a fleeting moment, Tuan felt oddly at peace despite everything. Hannah had trusted him with her true self. But with affirmation came fear. Fear of what came next, of the moment after that and the one after that. He closed his eyes, suddenly finding it hard to breathe. Hannah's gentle touch on his back pulled him back into reality. Are you okay? I'm fine. It's just an anxiety attack, don't worry about me. Jess? Was it the height from sitting on the edge? No, they never happen when I'm there, never. It's only when everything's fine, when everything's safe. Because when everything is good, I know it only takes one bad moment to bring the whole house of cards crashing down. Was that what I said before? Not what you said. What I didn't say. What didn't you say? is a good wig. You knew. Yes. I wouldn't have had the courage to keep talking to you otherwise. The best friendships I ever had were the ones with a built-in expiration date.
Damn, son.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think I get it now. All Tuan saw in her eyes was betrayal.
That is pretty cold.
Yeah. Is that what I am to you? A girl with an expiration date? This is really good. I take it back. I think the beginning part was a bit too long, but now it's good. You have problems, kid. It's not you, it's me. I'm so used to people being transient in my life. It wasn't so scary to talk to you if... I'm sorry, I brought you here because I wanted to feel normal for just one night. I wanted that too. To leave everything behind and feel normal even if it was only for a few hours. And I did. Thank you. Hannah. Tuan felt them teetering on the brink of something. What was she feeling? The same dread? The same longing? Tuan felt Hannah shaking his arms, hot tears soaking through the fabric of his shirt. But not just her tears. He realized he was crying with her. Tuan wished a train would pull up to the platform to whisk them away so they'd never have to return home. He knew Hannah felt the same way. But that was not how life worked. Are you ready? As long as it's with you. Just don't let go. Hannah's fingers dug into his skin in the first terrifying seconds. He couldn't blame her. Upside down, falling like a rock towards the center of Melbourne, Tuan saw something new in Hannah's eyes. It seemed as though the wind had stolen their words, leaving only silence. They walked in lockstep, each dragging their feet. I don't think we can walk any slower. Try me. I could do this all day. He came out tonight looking for something very specific. Yeah. I'm not sure that's me. I think it might be. But if it's not, I guess I'm okay with that too. I guess that was metaphorical just now.
No, I think the terminal is in the liminal space. I think this is all very, very, like, this is what's happening, right? Because this is a magical, the rules are a bit wishy-washy.
Yeah.
But, like, also when they mentioned before about this being a dream, that's also possible. This is how the living come to the terminal, is through dream.
That's true.
Yeah.
At first glance, that's why he says, right, like, he doesn't want to leave, doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
At first glance, Tuan had thought the shells of jar were just thrown together. Afterthoughts, nothing more than a forgotten mess. But now he realized that each jar seemed perfectly created for its content, as if they were made for each other. Hannah seemed far away, perhaps also thinking of the jars. Or perhaps of something else entirely. You think I'm carrying around a lot of pain, don't you? Hard not to after all this. But it's not you. I've been thinking about myself. I assume you were carrying a lot of pain, not because you did anything to make me think that. It's just easier to cope when I assume everyone is going through the same stuff as I am. That's it. I reckon I figured something out about you. You like me. No way. I thought this hand-holding business was strictly platonic. I want my money back. I gave you a new piece of information, you dingus. What? Did you expect me to do something flowery? Flowery? I like you anyway. Speech, because that's not really my thing. You got baggage. That's part of who I am. You can't get to pick and you don't get to pick and choose, and that's okay. I like you. I like all of you, Hannah. Even every little thing that's ever happened to you has shaped you into the person standing next to me. I really, really like that person. You're right, I don't get to pick and choose. So when I say I like all of you, I want you to know that I mean it. You're not the first person who's ever told me something like that before, but you're the first person I've believed. The worst way to lie to someone is to tell them what you think, is to tell them what you think they want to hear. Yeah, you get it. Now I think it's dragging on a bit long again.
Alright, calm down. Jeez. Can't, there's no, it's just, you're never happy.
They had this great whole revelation thing, and then after that it dragged on into a YA novel again.
I think we're about to end. We're coming back to the terminal.
Okay.
People just had world-shattering revelations about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to do this? I'm ready as long as you're doing it with me. But don't let go.
Oh, are they both dead?
Maybe. Tuan waited for the moment he knew was coming, for Hannah's form to fade, as all spirits did upon leaving the terminal.
She's dead.
But
Yep.
the moment never came, and there she was on either side, her warm fingers intertwined with his.
Ooh?
Are you? I'm still here. I go in for my last round of chemo tomorrow. So are you gonna hurry up and kiss me already? Yeah, they're both alive.
Yay.
There are some happy endings.
So, they should really tell people to do the other story first and then this one, because this is the best way to end this series.
Even if it does take a little bit too long.
Although, like, why did they cross over the terminal then if they were both alive?
Because they don't know, right? Like there was that little play at the beginning where they're like, "You want to ask me a question, but you're not sure if you can."
So he didn't know if she was alive, and she didn't know if he was alive.
Correct.
So instead of telling each other, they decided to walk through this thing.
I mean, that's not the first time we've seen that, right? Some of the stories that we had within the main game. Or
I know,
similar.
but it seemed like unnecessary. Like whereas the rest seem a bit more natural, this seemed a little bit forced to give a nice ending.
I guess, but whatever.
I like it.
I like it.
Jinx.
Yeah. And we're done. We are done
Yay!
with Necrobarista. Those were the two
really
short
good.
stories. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we ended on this one and not the other one, because the other one was more like,
The other one was it was a bit harsher. But yeah. So can we walk towards the end of the terminal? Because that would be a good way to end the game. If we could walk to the end. No, we can't. We get stopped here by an invisible wall. No. All right. Well, we can't walk to the end of the terminal. But yeah, that's it. We are done. This is a fantastic game, and I love it to pieces. And everyone should play it, even if you've watched us play it. You should still go play it for yourself, because I'm sure you've already forgotten a bunch of stuff.
I think I might replay it on the Switch by myself just to read stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not so like distracting when you have to read it aloud.
So tomorrow I am playing. What am I playing tomorrow? Tomorrow is the Dan Placer's Backlog, and I'm playing El Hijo, a Wild West tale. Thursday, more Psychonauts. This weekend, I've promised to start the War for Wakanda DLC in Marvel's Avengers, so I will do that.
I'm writing on the weekdays, so you're writing on the weekend.
I am. I will write on the weekend, but I'm going to take 2 hours at least to do some Black Panthering. Next Tuesday, we are starting Resident Evil. No, we're starting Resident Evil 2.
Because it's October.
Because it's Spooky month.
No.
Yes. So next. Starting in October, I'm gonna. We are. On Tuesdays, Felicia will join me, but every day in October, I will be playing spooky games. I've lined up a couple things, even for a Dan Placer's Backlog. I've got 4 or 5 games that I'll be playing each Wednesday. That'll be spooky games, and I'll be playing. Hopefully, I can finish Psychonauts.
Psychonauts not a spooky
Actually,
game.
you know what? I take it back. I will not be starting War of Wakanda this weekend, because this weekend will already be Spooky Times month. It'll already be the spooky month, because this month ends on.
Are you gonna play Dead Space?
I'm not gonna play Dead Space. I don't actually have a copy of Dead Space, so I'm not gonna be playing Dead Space. But I'll be playing something else that's spooky. Hopefully not too spooky because I'll be playing it by myself. Yeah, so we'll be playing something that isn't. So sorry, War of Wakanda. Apologize. You're gonna have to wait until after
Resident
October.
Evil 2.
Yeah, we're playing Resident Evil 2 on Tuesdays, Felicia and I, until we finish. It might take longer than October, and then we'll start Heaven's Vault.
We'll see whether we'll play Resident Evil 2 every Tuesday.
We're playing Resident Evil 2
We'll
every
see.
Tuesday in October. And then other stuff. I'll play other stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to finish Psychonaut. Maybe that's what I'll do this Thursday. This I don't know. We'll see. I gotta try and finish Psychonaut as quickly as possible though. We'll see. We'll see. Spooky times. Spooky times are happening. I don't know what I'm playing this weekend. We'll figure it out.
Bye.
All right. Thanks everyone for hanging out.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks Joe. Thanks Eugene. Thanks anybody else who's watching. I will see you tomorrow for El Hijo, a Wild West tale. Bye bye.